Well, today's the big day. Wisconsin is going to help us figure out, frankly, I think for the national election as well, whether outspending your opponent 7-1 in a race that is already fairly tight is a strategy that will push somebody over the top. If outspending, if Scott Walker outspending Tom Barrett 7-1 in the state of Wisconsin pushes Scott Walker over the 50% mark, then we've got a big Citizens United problem here in the United States. Andy Kroll is a staff reporter with Mother Jones Magazine, motherjones.com, of course. And Andy, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tom.
Great to have you with us. You're in Wisconsin right now.
I am in Milwaukee, where all the action is at.
Okay, we've had 2 reports so far from Madison. What's going on in Milwaukee?
Well, it's the Democrats are squeezing every last vote that they can out of this city. Milwaukee traditionally is a hub of Democratic support in elections, and Tom Barrett in a race in which turnout is really going to be the big difference, and Democrats need as high a turnout as they can get. Milwaukee is big for them, and they need Milwaukee to get to the polls, in huge numbers and near presidential turnout numbers if Barrett has a hope of beating Scott Walker today.
Right. The conventional wisdom that I'm hearing. Actually, I'm hearing 2 different things from the pundits. One is that if we see turnout in Wisconsin that resembles the 2008 election where Barack Obama swept the state, then Tom Barrett is the governor. If, on the other hand, we see turnout like the 2010 election where basically the Republicans showed up in about the same numbers that they did in 2008, but the Democrats just didn't show up, or progressives didn't show up, in large numbers, then Scott Walker wins. That's one form of conventional wisdom that I'm hearing. The other is, everybody's pointing to intrade.com, which is the Irish betting site, which is almost never wrong about elections. And they're saying right now you can buy bets on Barrett or Walker, and the odds that they're giving are 93.6% Walker to what would that be? 5.4% for Barrett, or 6.4%, I guess. Those are pretty grim numbers, and I'm just wondering what you're hearing there in Wisconsin.
With the in-trade numbers, I think those are a reflection of the fact that Scott Walker has not trailed in a poll all year. And the Real Clear Politics polling average has him up by a little over 6 percentage points. Tom Barrett has not, the closest Tom Barrett has come is, 2 or 3 percentage points, give or take a few. And, it is a statistical dead heat. But, in-trade is reflecting essentially what the polling has been, what the public sentiment has been. You've got to keep in mind as well that this is the 3rd gubernatorial recall election in American history.
Right.
It is something
this is unprecedented, in other words.
It is almost unprecedented, and I think in terms of in-trade, in some cases all bets are off because this is such an aberration here. Now, with the first piece of conventional wisdom that you mentioned, interestingly, going into this recall election, the energy and the number of people, the percentage of people who say that they were absolutely going to go out and vote in this recall was actually a bit higher on the Republican side. Now, we're talking the difference between in the 90% range, in the mid-80s or the low 80% range for Democrats, and this is the 90s for Republicans, is when you hear people say Democrats need massive turnout if Barrett hopes to have a chance in this recall election. I think that's a reflection of those polls, which showed that the bit of room for growth is on the Democratic side, and they're really this race is really only about 2 to 4 percentage points. It's those undecided voters who are still scratching their heads going into today's elections. They may make up their mind in the voting booth today. But the more of those people that you get out, the more independents, more undecideds that you get out. I think that bodes well for the Democrats. I was just talking to some labor folks a few minutes ago, and obviously they're talking to a reporter, and so they're not going to say anything that's particularly damaging to their cause. But they're all optimism. The numbers that they're seeing coming in from around the state, not just Dane County, the sort of the liberal heart of Wisconsin, or Milwaukee, but other places, central Wisconsin, parts of northern Wisconsin. They say they're seeing great numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So, by no means are they hedging, are they managing expectations, or are they already starting to spin a potential loss? They are very, very confident, as confident as I've heard them in the past few weeks.
Very interesting. Have there been any surprises in the last 24 hours? Has there been a change of strategy by either Barrett or Walker, anything like that?
No. Walker. I was at a Walker event last night here in Milwaukee. Walker has stuck to his message, stuck to his talking points. Just in an incredibly disciplined way. Mm-hmm. He ends almost every line, or almost every bit of stump speech that he has with some variation of, "We're moving Wisconsin forward. We can't move Wisconsin backward. I'm taking Wisconsin forward." And that has been his message in the past month, if not more. Mm-hmm. He stuck to it, and Barrett has done the same. Barrett has said that Scott Walker started a civil war in this state. Barrett has said that Scott Walker lied to the people of Wisconsin with his attack on collective bargaining rights for public employee unions. Barrett, he hit on the same kinds of themes that he has been for the past month. Really it was just sort of a buckling down. Now, we have heard a few bits of news here and there, a robocall going out telling people who signed petitions to recall Walker that they don't have to vote, which is obviously not true. So there's been some effort to counter that misinformation. But but the two candidates have stuck to their guns here. They have hammered away on the same themes, and now it's in the voters' hands.
What are the expectations for returns tonight? The polls close at is it 8:00 local time, which would be 9:00 East Coast time?
Yep.
So is it expected that we'll know the results within 5 minutes, or is it expected that it's going to be like in some previous elections, Waukesha County takes 3 hours to come in, or maybe a day and a half? Any sense of that?
Well, the official sort of forecasted turnout is 60 to 65% of voting age adults, which is really huge. Mm-hmm. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel's sort of voting reporter, elections reporter, called that more or less insane in how big it was. I don't think that this is going to be an election that we will know soon after the polls close. I think my gut tells me that this thing will go pretty well into the night. Right. Both sides have lawyered up and gone through all the steps they need to take for a recount. If it's tight,
yeah.
If it's tight, right? If the final margin is within about a half a percentage point, an automatic state-funded recall is triggered.
Right?
Recount
kicks in.
Yeah, recount is triggered.
Now, we've had people call into the program, Andy. One saying that the Walker campaign is offering $100 to put a sign in your yard, that they've been buying front yards. Another saying that he got a robocall today telling him not to forget to vote tomorrow, Wednesday, and he's sending us a clip of that. I wonder if these kind of things. Well, it's going to take some time, I guess, for all the stories to get out. It's going to be really interesting. Andy Kroll with Mother Jones Magazine, motherjones.com, on the ground in Wisconsin. Andy, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.